Hi everyone, good morning. We'll be starting off, guys, in another 2 to 3 minutes of time. Let's wait for the folks to join and then we'll kickstart. Hi everyone, good morning. Hi guys, good morning. Just wanted to make sure that, can you guys confirm me if I'm clearly audible and visible? If someone can please put that on a chat or wheresoever, or you can unmute yourself and speak on. If I'm clearly audible and visible. Guys, can anyone please confirm me that I'm all right? Good. Thank you, Krishna. Thanks for that. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for joining in. It seems to be having some kind of a technical glitch because of which, some students have not been able to join. We are trying to sort this out in parallel, but in the interest of time for all, I think it is all the more relevant for us to really kickstart this journey in terms of, what we really have in store today. So welcome, guys. Welcome. Just to introduce myself, my name is Pankaj Chingra. I'm a qualified chartered accountant and a CPA from US, and have been part of various corporations for like last 25 years or so. I have headed the finance for Wipro. I have headed the finance for BlackRock, and I was the head of finance for Boston Consulting. Um, Alongside, for my job for like 25 years or so, I've been very close to academics in terms of, being very closer to some of the specific subjects that I really love for, and strategic business leader is one of it, which I believe is very relevant for you when you will step into any corporations as you may go forward. And this subject per se really prepares you for you to really hit the industry in the best possible way. And that is one of the intent, because I think, the value add that I bring on table from the strategic business leader standpoint is going to be huge, because, I've seen that side of the table in terms of, being on the CFO side. I've seen that side of the table primarily to really see in terms of, how you should be handling that when you will step into any organization. So the intent of the discussion today would be to more understand. Let me bring my slides over here. I hope you guys can see my screen, just to make sure that, we are on the same page. Can you guys just confirm me, guys, if you can see my slides? Please say something. All right, good. Thank you, Krishna. Thanks for that. All right. The intent of today's discussion, my friend, would be to, of course, kickstart your strategic business leader journey. If you really are planning to give your, SBL exam in the upcoming attempt, the intent is that we should be able to, understand strategic business leader as a subject. And of course, you should also understand, what has been given to you by FinTram, in terms of taking your journey forward. And of course, taking your journey to the best extent possible in the direction of you clearing the exam. Some of the ground rules that I really want to set off with, just to start off, coming whatever time, 45 minutes or to 60 minutes or so, I really want you to be with me. So would relish if you can have your mobile phones on the silent mode, please. I do not really want you to be looking up on your Facebooks, Instas, or WhatsApp for that matter. Be with me for 45 minutes or so. I'm sure that's really going to be value adding to you from the standpoint of strategic business leader exam, if possible. And I know it's early in the morning, and that too on a Sunday. If possible, I would relish if you can have your cameras to be on, please. It's more like having a face-to-face discussions always help. So it'll be good that if you can have a video chat rather than me speaking over here. Open up and talk, guys. Many of you are having or may have some kind of concerns or doubts or queries in relation to this exam, which is like, what should be the best strategy one should be really doing, what should be our ways of tackling the situations that may really get up in the exam, or any kind of doubt, be it in terms of how one should be really going through the curriculum, what all is included in the curriculum, what is the best strategy, what is the exam tips and technique, and or any other question that you may have. Feel free to talk on that. I'll be happy to really pick it up and of course try to resolve it on. Make the best use of any session that we are going to have. There are many sessions that we intend to have, like in this like this way, in person. Your time is really precious. Forget about mine. Your time is really precious. Take the best out of it. My whole intention is and that God has been fortunate on that my whole intention is to have a cup of coffee with you once you clear the exam. And God has been so kind till now that, I have coffee now due in almost every part of India and, every part of Middle East and various parts of Europe and so on and so forth. So I have coffees coming up from all over the world, in terms of, students really getting benefited from the standpoint of strategic business leader exam, and they're clearing this with the flying colors. So, stay with me. There is a lot to come in the session today. The intent is that, you should take the maximum benefit out, so that, at least from the advantageous standpoint, you can best gain the things out as much as possible. And of course, we'll be talking through, various aspects of the exam. I do have a slide that really talks on the agenda that's coming up in a while. So, I'm sure we'll see that too. So what we will cover, I just wanted to give you a snapshot, in terms of, how your 45 minutes of time is going to be looking like. As I said, your time is really, really precious, my friend. And I really want you to spend as much as possible in terms of going things and of course doing things with me. So that's going to be the edge. That's going to be the mantra. Now, some of the questions that you may have, I'll just, flip on the slide. I do have one slide that I think the question that you may have, we'll go through that. The intent is that we should be understanding the strategic business leader exam structure and the content today. I think that is the biggest piece that any one of us really need to be aware of if we are really planning to give the SBL exam in the near future. We should also understand, how the SBL marking happens. That I give you a perspective in terms of, how the examiner looks at your exam and, what kind of things that he really checks on. So that is again something to really look upon. Then we'll deep dive into the strategic business leader syllabus areas. I really want, guys, one of the mantra for clearing the strategic business leader exam is not to leave anything in the syllabus area, at least cover the entire syllabus area. So that is again something that we'll relish and we'll try doing. And then coming up, what's new in the strategic business leader exam. Many of you might be worried in terms of changes that are bringing up, that have been brought up from September 2023 attempt, so what's new coming up there, and, how should your study approach be aligned to it? We'll talk on that. And then towards the end, we'll also talk on, the effective study plan for the preparation and, what should be your approach to really clear the exam in the best possible way. And not the last but not the least would be the Q&A. I really want you to open up your heart, my friend, with me in terms of, what all you think, are the areas, in which I can really be helpful to you. So we'll talk on that as much as possible to really give you an insight as to, what should be your strategy in order to, have that cracked in the best possible way. So we'll jump on to that. Coming on to, some of the questions that I think I would anticipate if I was the student, these were the questions that I would anticipate or expect to get an answer for. So we'll talk on, on those. Some of the questions I feel is that how will I go forward with the lectures that are provided by FinTram? What should be the plan? Is the time enough? I just have exam coming up in 3 months time, 4 months time, 5 months time. So is the time enough? Is the material lectures enough? What is being provided by FinTram? Is the material lectures updated, my friend, in terms of, what really brings on to the table for yourself? Do we need to really refer any other book, or the content that is being provided by FinTram is more than enough? Do I need to practice any more questions? Okay. And if in doubt, then where to go? That is one of the main concern that, as a student, I would have, that if I will have doubt somewhere and at some point in time, then where should I go and how should I get that addressed? We should also talk on the changes in the strategic business leader exam from September 2023, and how will we cover the changes that has really come up that can be a doubt. And is the mock exam important? And if yes, when should I give my mock? Who should I give my mock? Who will correct it? Will you get your review on your performance in the exam, and so on and so forth? So those questions might come on to yourself, and if there is anything more which you think that you have as a doubt or as a question, I'm happy to include that and talk on that in the Q&A. But these are the things I think any student may have, and this is more to do with the precedents that we have seen, or the I would say the overall questions that we have seen with various students. We could make out that these are the things that really come very often. So we thought, let us put this on a piece of paper, and then let's start talking on to that. Is that clear, guys? Just wanted to, again, do a sense check, guys. Since I can't see you, I can't hear you. Just wanted to make sure that, guys, you're hearing me rightfully, right? And there are no gaps in terms of hearing me or seeing me, for all practical purposes. Just wanted to do a reconfirmation so that, we are not missing on to that. All righty, good. Thank you, Krishna. Krishna is really, I would say, looking forward to answering the things. Thank you very much. We'll just quickly go on. Give me a sec. I think I've changed my slide. Give me a sec. All right. You guys can see my slide, right? Guys, you guys can see my slide. All right, good. Thank you very much. We'll go and now we'll start off with the SBL exam structure. Now that's again something to be looked upon. Many of the folks, they really want to understand, what is the strategic business leader exam structure. It's a 3 hour, 15 minutes exam now. It used to be 4 hours, prior to September 2023. Now it is 3 hour, 15 minutes of exam. So effectively you get 195 minutes, my friend, to read, plan, and write the exam. There is a pre-seen content in the strategic business leader exam, which really came up for September 2023 attempt. And of course, as we go forward, this would be the case wherein you would get the pre-seen content of the exam, and that will be sent to the student 2 weeks before the exam. We'll come on to the pre-seen content in the session. I really want to talk on that because that is again something that has to fall in place. That has to be part of your strategy. So we'll talk on that in a while. There are 3 compulsory tasks that examiner says that he'll be giving you, and each task can have varying number of parts and the total marks. The total marks, of course, is of 100 marks, out of which you have to score, as much as possible to really come up with the flying colors. Do not forget, my friend, from the exam content standpoint, SBL exam is gonna be one integrated case study. It can be 10 to 12 pages long. Can be short, can be long, depending upon how much content he has given you in the pre-seen material. There are 3 compulsory tasks that I just spoke on, and with each task having varying number of parts and total marks. One part, so let's say there are 3 tasks, and one task can be having 3 requirements to be answered. So in totality, you would get 3 tasks with some sub pointers onto it, which you really need to answer. They may give you, and that's again something they may give you, and then you also may need to prepare. Both ways it works. They may give you the board meetings, they may give you spreadsheets, they may give you annual reports, surveys, proposals, and whatnot as part of your exam. And that's where when I started off saying that strategic business leader exam really prepares you from your corporation standpoint. So this really helps you, having an edge over there in terms of, knowing what is really happening in the corporate, so that, you are able to address it in the best possible way. So intent of the examiner is that he'll give you various, I would say, reports kind of a things. It can be board minutes, spreadsheets, annual reports, survey, proposals, press releases, and so on and so forth, wherein he would expect that, do you understand all of those formats? Do you understand what really gets into over there? And then he may ask you to prepare something like that too, so that, he's on, in a way, he's trying to understand that, are you able to read it in terms of all of those specific reports that you have to deal with when you step into any organization? Are you able to read and complement it? And then he will give you the task also like that. So he will give you a task that, read the board minutes, read the spreadsheets, and then prepare a press release. So he's basically, trying to understand that, are you able to comprehend and understand on one side? And on the other hand, are you able to write and demonstrate that you have an understanding for that? So he can test you both ways. And that's the beauty of the strategic business leader exam. And I do feel that that's the game changer for any person when you will step into any organization. One of the mantras that and you would see, coming in each and every session, that you will see with us, that one of the mantra that we really follow in the strategic business leader exam is, and I'll keep saying that like a broken record, that you have to think like a leader. You have to think like a CEO, CFO, head of the function, audit manager, external consultant, or a consultant, or an internal audit manager, whatsoever, based on the role that has been provided to you in the exam. You have to think like that. So it is the essence of the strategic business leader exam is that you will step into the shoes of the role that has been given to you. think like that person, think like that leader, think like that personality, and then start answering the questions. Essence is that you're able to take the job role that is being given and discussed with you, and you're able to take that to the level that you're able to answer the queries wearing the hat of that particular person. So for example, I may be given a position of audit manager in a question, in a scenario. Now I have to think like, what an audit manager could have done, what he would have written, what he could have really demonstrated as a knowledge, what he would have really advised, what he would have really counseled, and so on and so forth. So you have to think like an audit manager and then start answering that. We have practiced a lot of this, my friend, in our sessions. Of course, in the division bootcamp, we have practiced questions also, taking into the consideration, some of the norms that I just spoke on with, in terms of how should you be thinking like that, how you should be really, what one should be doing in that kind of a scenario. We really talked on those kind of things. That is again something that you have to, really inculcate, and of course, ensure that you're understanding that in the exam. Coming on to, the SBL marking scheme. Now, this is something very, very extraordinary, and this is something you would not generally see in any of the exams that you would have given by now. Strategic Business Leader exam, is an only exam wherein you're not only tested in terms of what you write, but you're also tested on how you write an exam. So the essence of the Strategic Business Leader exam is that 80 marks are the marks that are being tested for you in terms of what you write in the exam, and 20 marks are being given in terms of how you write in the exam. So there are 5 professional skills in the Strategic Business Leader exam, and we have dealt with all those 5 professional skills in detail in our sessions, and of course in the revision bootcamp, giving you practical application of it in terms of how one should be really demonstrating that knowledge, and of course answering that in the exam in the best possible way. There are 5 professional skills that would carry 20 marks. So how you write, so you don't have to write anything more for professional skills. It is just that what you write should demonstrate that you have understood those professional skills, and the essence is included in what you write. So effectively, from the examination standpoint, you will only need to write exam for 80 marks. But you would be rated for 100 marks because 20 marks would be given in terms of how you have written the exam. If I really go back in the history, when you were a kid and, when I was a kid, many of the times there were certain marks that were allocated in terms of handwriting. So in SBL exam, they have not allocated the marks to your handwriting, but they have, allocated the marks in terms of how are you demonstrating yet that you are the right strategic business leader for any organization that really come by. So 20% of the marks will relate to that. So we'll talk on the professional skills. I do have a slide coming up onto that. But what is really important is that you're understanding that, what is really what is really relevant from the examination standpoint is very well covered. So you have to know these professional skills in detail. As I said, in our sessions, we have really captured that at a great length. And of course, we have also ensured that, when you're practicing question with me in the division bootcamp, you are taking care of, all of those small things that are really relevant for you to really excel on these professional skills. Moving on to the exam marking scheme. I think I've already spoken on to that. There is no point to dwell on it more now. 80 marks are given for what you write, and 20 marks are given for how you write an exam. 80 marks are for technical skills, that is syllabus areas, and 20 marks for the, are for the professional skills. There are 5 professional skills, as I said, in this exam that you need to demonstrate while writing. There are we have communication skill, we have commercial acumen skill, we have analysis skill, we have skepticism skill, and then we have the evaluation skills that we really need to demonstrate. Do not forget the CKs. CKs can give you 20 marks in the exam like this. So do not forget on that. So there are 5 professional skills, and we'll touch upon that in a while. As I said, the detailing of it is very well covered in the sessions, and I'm sure when you'll see that, you will get to know. And when we'll practice questions together, you'll understand that in the revision bootcamp. Coming on to the strategic business leader syllabus areas. We have A to I syllabus areas in the exam. We have leadership, governance and strategy. We have risk, technology and data analytics, organization control and audit, financial planning and decision-making, innovation, performance excellence, and change management. Again, is something that really comes your way. And then we have professional skills, as I said, and then the employability and the digital skills. The H&I are primarily in terms of how you really demonstrate your exam or give your exam. Effectively, the syllabus areas are from A to G. Now, if you really, circle down and if you really get into the detailing of, all of these syllabus areas, let's somewhere deep dive into leadership now. Guys, before I really go in there, just wanted to do a sense check. Am I clearly audible and visible? Are you guys facing any problem, concerns anywhere? Just to make sure that, it's not that I should keep speaking and you're not understanding or getting me. And can anybody please confirm so that, I can just keep going like that? Devika Rani or Ishika, Krishna, Pooja, Ravi, anybody, can you guys please confirm just to make sure that you're able to hear me rightfully?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Thank you very much. Don't get bogged down by me asking this again and again. As I said, since I can't see you, at times it becomes a problem for me to note
No,
down.
we can hear. We can hear. Thank you.
All right, good. Thank you very much. Coming on to the first syllabus areas, that is leadership. Now, leadership is a syllabus area, my friend, where an examiner would effectively want you to understand the qualities of a leader. You are stepping on to a corporate wherein you would need to demonstrate your leadership skills. So one of the aspects of strategic business leader exam is to prepare you for becoming the future leader of an organization. So there will be various things that we'll be discussing, and some of this, we have demonstrated over here. We'll be talking on the qualities of the leader. We'll be talking on the culture of an organization in terms of, what the culture of an organization really means to be, and what does that really, I would say, comprises of, how one would be dealing with the culture of an organization. How can one really change the culture of an organization? Those are the things that we'll be talking on over here. We'll also talk on the professional and the corporate ethics. Again, very important thing for every leader to demonstrate in terms of how ethically he is, or how professionally he is in terms of, having the right approach towards an organization, towards the people, towards the regulator, and towards the world at large. We'll also touch upon, in relation to the ethics, we'll also talk on some of the fraud and bribery and corruption areas. There are various examples from the industry that we have discussed in this, or we will be discussing in this, which is going to be a game changer for you, because that will not only give you a theoretical understanding of it, but that will effectively give you a practical, expectations of what the examiner can really have from you, and so that, you can really answer that in the best possible way. If I really move on to the governance side of it, that is the next syllabus area. Over here, we'll be talking on to the corporate governance side in terms of, what the corporate governance is, what you as a leader need to really ensure from the governance standpoint, what kind of committees are there in an organization, what is the responsibility of a director, what a director can do, what he cannot do, types of directors. We'll be talking on the reporting that you have to manage and do from the governance or the compliance standpoint. Very imperative, my friend, for you to have these understandings from the leadership standpoint, because if you'll understand that, if you'll know that, easier it becomes for you to really, address that in the best possible way. Very important and imperative, my friend, that you're able to address that and you're able to get that, and you're able to demonstrate these understandings in the exam, because there cannot be any leader across the world who is lacking on the governance piece of it. So very important. You generally have, a question coming up from this area, and once we'll do the sessions, you will realize that there are some specific areas from which examiner has been asking questions, and we have really gone into the detail of it, telling you that which all areas are being tested by the examiner on this front. We'll also talk on the strategy. Now, can you be the strategic business leader without having a strategy in place for you? You cannot, right? Nobody can be, right? So we'll be doing the SWOT analysis for yourself. So we'll be talking on the strengths that you may have, the weaknesses that you may have as an organization. We'll be talking on the the threats that you're exposed to, and so on and so forth. So effectively, the intent is that we'll be understanding the environment in an organization in which it really operates, the kind of capability that the organization really demonstrates, and basis that, what kind of strategic choices you may have. So there are various models that we've discussed in the strategy, and this area is one of the most heavily tested area in the exam. And we have covered that with the help of various industry level examples, just to make sure that you're really getting the, the art of answering the question in the practical manner. One thing that I really want to, take a step back on and really want to talk on is that one thing that you should surely know is that strategic business leader exam is not an exam wherein you will be tested on your capabilities of technical skills, but this is an exam wherein he'll be testing you more on your commonsensical aspects of you handling the situations and the things that you had. So many of the times you have to apply your common sense in terms of thinking through as to what the strategy should be and what should be the strategy in action. So there'll be various choices that will be available to you, and then you have to pick up the one, implement that. And of course, once you've implemented that, then you will of course checking that in terms of how one should be really addressing the concerns that may really come your way. Very important piece, my friends, from the examination standpoint. And as I said, we have done this with the help of various examples, and we have practiced various questions on this in the revision bootcamp. Do not forget, of course, going through that in the best possible way. Coming on to the risk now, you are the strategic business leader of an organization. Can you not always assume risk in anything and everything that you do? Yes, sir, we have to deal with it, sir. That's the bread and butter of any organization. So we have to deal with the risk on the ongoing basis. So you, as a strategic business leader, have to identify the risk that really comes your way, have to understand in terms of how one should be managing it, mitigating it. And of course, once you have done that, then what is important is that you're really having a rigor in terms of understanding that what you really implemented is working fine or not. So from the risk standpoint, again, one of the very important area from the examination standpoint. From the risk standpoint, you really need to assure that you're not jumping off the guns when you're really exposed to any kind of risk situations. In fact, you should be coming on to that with the pride that, I understand this, I know this, and this is what I should be doing in this kind of scenario. And this is what the mantra would be. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Coming on to the technology and data analytics. Now, can you be the strategic business leader of any current organization without having a complete hang of technology? No, sir. Technology is the game changer nowadays, my friend. And we have done that with the help of various industry level examples, be it the Yahoos of the world, be it the Ubers of the world. We have taken all of those examples into our discussions just to make sure that, we are really having the full grasp of it. Important piece is that you get the practical perspective of these technological and data level changes. And if that really comes your way in the exam, which is going to be the situation, because he will certainly throw something at you from the practical change standpoint, then how one should be dealing with it. So we'll be talking on the IT, the hardware, the software's world. We'll be talking on the system securities and control in this. We'll be talking on various risks that you may get associated with once you really step onto the technology side of it. We'll be talking on various modern level era changes that are really coming your way, be it the data, data analytics, be it big data, be it, the other means that are really coming your way. So you should be really understanding that, if this is really coming, then what should be my strategy to it? The intent of this curriculum is to make sure that you understand that this is how it's gonna be, and considering this, what should be my strategy? So we'll be learning that, with the help of examples, and of course we'll be learning that with the help of practicing of questions that, if this really comes your way, then what should be your ultimate strategy to it? I think this is an area I'm sure, most of you would have seen, and this is something, we all are used to. Internal, I would say internal control, organizational audit. Now, again, you being the strategic business leader of an organization, how can you not have a due emphasis on the internal controls? So you have to learn in terms of how the internal control is really impacting an organization or really protecting an organization. Do you understand that? Do you understand the audit and the importance of it? Do you understand the compliances and the importance of it? And of course, how one should be really managing the internal reporting, management reporting, external reporting, and so on and so forth. We'll also talk on, some of the, so this is I think this part, this slide basically talks on the finance related areas for the strategic business leader. So we'll talk on various finance related areas, what you really can get exposed to when you will step into any organization. We'll be talking on things like ratio analysis, things like, variability analysis, the decision tree, the forecasting, the expected value calculation. Those are the, mix of like analysis tool that you really have to demonstrate once you're really assessing any kind of project. Many of the times, in the exam, he'll give you one of the project which you have to assess from the financial feasibility standpoint. Now, all of these ratio analysis and of course, expected value calculation or forecasting techniques really helps you to demonstrate that, do you understand that, this is how the organization would be working and demonstrating, and of course taking the decision in the scenario they are in. So we'll be talking on that, as I said, as we go forward. Important pieces that we understand that, this is the tool that we have to use and demonstrate when we're taking any kind of financial planning or decision decision. Coming on to the innovation and excellence. Now, this is effectively the last syllabus area, that you would be going through from the strategic business leader standpoint. But this, I think, is one of the most important pillar of the recent modern era industries or the companies. They have to deal with the innovations and excellence in the performance on an ongoing basis because there are disruptions happening. So we have discussed various practical examples of the disruptions that are happening in the industry. We have really talked on in terms of what has not worked for them because they did not innovate or they did not excel on what they were delivering. Considering that, or generalizing from it, how the innovation and performance excellence can really help an industry with is something that we have learned. We'll be talking on various operational excellence issues that one would be really dealing with, and of course how can you really change the organization in the best possible way. So we are learning the change management and of course project management piece there. Some differentiated pieces, my friend, but they've been put it up in one pillar to make sure that you're understanding that how the excellence is being achieved in an organization. Now, if you really circle this down, you would really be able to appreciate that what examiner is doing over here is that he's effectively exposing you to the modern era finance leader traits that he's expecting. So all of the syllabus areas that you would have seen this in the strategic business leader for now are the traits of any organizations that are existing at this changing time. And this is the mantra. This is the reason I love strategic business leader exam, because it is no more theoretical. It is just a practical exam that really prepares you to hit the industry in the best possible way. And I feel blessed that, I've been able to contribute to many of the students around the world in terms of their strategic business leader, as a journey, and they're working as the CFOs and the CEOs, and can't name them, but of various organizations now, considering that they have been, be able to take the benefit of the strategic business leader exam to their benefit, and of course they have reached where they have reached. Coming on to the professional skills, my friend. Now, we know that 80 marks is something that we will be writing off, and 20 marks is something that we'll be displaying off in terms of what we really write. There are 5 professional skills, as I said, which we'll be discussing in detail in our sessions, and of course talking through when we'll really go through there. The 5 professional skills are communication skill, first one, wherein you have to express yourself very clearly and convincingly. Then comes the commercial acumen, wherein you have to have the awareness of the wider business environment and the external environment to make sure that you're able to take the right decision as a commercially strong human being. And we'll talk on that in detail when we'll get into the sessions. We'll be talking on in terms of what does that really mean from the question standpoint, what does that mean from the examination standpoint, what does that mean from the practical scenario standpoint. We have discussed that. Then comes the analysis professional skill, wherein we'll be investigating and of course making huge amount of queries and ensuring that none of the portions in the exam is untouched. So effectively it is thinking about what is really important for us to investigate and make the relevant queries to ensure that you get on to the right conclusion. So we'll talk on that when we'll step on and start professional skills in the sessions. Then comes the professional skepticism, which is like having the reasonable questioning mindset for anything, so that we are not taking anything at the face value. So we'll be talking on that in terms of how you can be a humble and a professional skeptical guy in an organization to ensure that you're not missing on the small things and not taking on the things on the face value and politely challenging the things for the organizational good. So that's again something that we'll be learning as we'll be getting onto the professional skills in the exam or in the sessions. Then comes the evaluation, my friend. Evaluation skill is again something to demonstrate that are you able to evaluate the choices that are being given to you. So it is more to demonstrate, am I able to carefully assess the situations, and am I able to carefully assess the information that is being provided to me, solutions that are being provided to me, and am I able to take the rightful decisions for them. So that's again something to look for. As I said, we have done this with the help of various examples in the sessions and of course in the revision boot camp, and also while practicing the questions, my friend, we have ensured that we are able to demonstrate this very clearly into the answer choices that we really do. Coming on to the knowledge of the digital skills or knowing the CBE, I'm sure most of you who are giving this, for whom this is not the first time, ACCA exam, they are used to the somewhat the computer-based exam environment. But if you're not used to, just to let you know, this is a computer-based exam. Anything and everything that you have to write or demonstrate would be in the computer. So you have to understand how the CB exam really works. We'll be training you out onto the CB environment in terms of, how, and you have to utilize the best functionalities of the CBE that really comes your way. So we have to demonstrate that, and that's something we will be doing. And of course, we'll be explaining you, how to navigate and use the best tool possibles in the exam to make sure that, you're there from the examination standpoint. And of course, in the mock exam, you would do that also. You would come back to us, and of course, we'll be giving you a detailed performance review also for the same, just to make sure that you're there with us from the examination standpoint. Now, one thing that I really want to talk on over here is that you should be knowing this, that, there was a time wherein the SBL exam used to be a 4-hour exam, wherein they used to give 1 hour for reading the exam. But over here, from September 2023 onwards, the SBL exam is a 3-hour, 15-minute exam, and you would get a pre-seen content of the exam. Not that can, not like a full-fledged question, but they will give you a content relevance that you would get 2 weeks ahead of the exam. So from the exam date, 2 weeks prior to that, you would get a pre-seen content, which you'll go through, and you will receive an email from the ACCA that when the content is available and how can you really assess that. You would get that content, you have to go through that content, and then you would sit for your exam. So effectively, they're giving you the content or the case study of an exam in advance, or industry perspective in advance, and then you will sit, get into the exam room and start reading the question and then start answering that. Now, what should you be doing if you, with the pre-seen content? Students are advised to read the pre-seen content ahead of the exam, and we'll be certainly helping you out on that. Students may do some research to better understand the terminology, activities of the industry or the organization. Discuss and prepare on the pre-seen material. We'll be there with you for it in terms of, things that you really have to have in your mind, and complete all the syllabus areas. Don't just overdo with the pre-seen material. You just have to, understand that what the industry perspective is and what you should be thinking about and how you should be preparing yourself in terms of what may come on those lines. And we'll be taking that journey together, my friend, because that is something that we have to work together in the last 2 weeks of exam, just to make sure that you're there from the examination standpoint. Now, what should I not do? And there's something we'll be pointing out again and again, that we do not want you to do further information, as all the relevant information will be contained in the pre-seen material. No question spotting that, if this has really come up in the pre-seen material, then what can, be the question. And rote learning is certainly not important. It is just a case study. You would understand what the case is. And, together when we'll talk on that, when we'll discuss on that, I'm sure, you'll get the perspective as to what that is. Now, my friend, one thing that is really important is, what should be your study plan and approach. I think, this is just the beginning, my friend. And, in order to have a cup of coffee from around the world, there has to be some strategy. And this is my strategy for the exam that has been working extremely well for the students around the globe. Start seeing the sessions and, practice the class questions. There are various class questions that are being given, so you should start practicing that, and more so, practice it by your own hand. Read through the professional skills in entirety. Do not leave one. And, when you're reading that, think about, how can I practically write that in the exam, or include that in the exam. So you don't have to write anything extra, but what you would write, the way you would write, should demonstrate your professional skills, and you have to learn that art. So we'll be telling you that. Understand the formats needed in the exam. Now, whether it is a report, whether it is a press release or a memo or a presentation or a email or whatsoever, all of those formats are being given to you, have been provided to you, that these are the formats that you should be following. Very important that you understand the formats that are needed in the exam, not only from providing standpoint, but also from the reading standpoint. Acquire the reading and writing skills. Practice is going to be the key here. We have done a lot on this in the revision bootcamp. You have to practice to excel on that. We'll be coming up with various exams down the line, just to make sure that you're understanding, and of course having some kind of an knowledge building happening on the ongoing basis. We have provided you the revision bootcamp, ACCA, the video question marathon. We think that you should be seeing that at least twice, just to get the complete hang of it. Do not miss on that. There are various live sessions coming like this. We'll be talking on that. We'll be practicing things. We'll be understanding, doubt clearing, and other things that we'll do do attend that. Do not miss on that. Very, very, very important. Practice at least 2 exam questions, and of course give the mock exam or exams as much as possible. We're there to help you in the best possible way there. Once you've done that, of course, then when you'll sit for exam, I'm sure you would have a flying colors over there, and then is the time to really treat me with my cup of coffee, just to make sure that I get my share of it once you have cleared the exam. I'm accruing that onto my financial statements, just to make sure that I have coffee from all the states of India, and of course various parts of the world. With that, guys, that's what I really wanted to cover. I'll be happy to have any questions from you anyone may have on anything that you would want to talk on, just to help you, strategize your exam in the best possible way. I've given, the contact number of FinTram in case you want to reach out to them for any further questions, queries. And of course, I've also given my WhatsApp number over here in case you want to get in touch with me, for understanding anything better. Happy to answer any question, guys, anyone may have. You can put it on a chat. You can talk through by unmuting yourself, whatever way possible. Happy to answer anything that you may have. Anybody? Anything that you would want to ask? Anybody, guys? It's your time, guys. You have to be opening up yourself to get the answers of the questions that really come your way. Happy to answer as much as possible.
Pankaj, hi, Ravi here.
Hi, Ravi.
Hi. Just wanted, a bit curious. Since it's changed the format from a 4-hour to 3-hour, what was the thought process over there? To do a big change like this, any background on that? You could share some light on that?
So what we have understood from ACCA is, and we get in touch very regularly with ACCA on these kind of changes, and of course there are various meetings and various discussions that happens around the world before making any such changes. One of the contexts that that is there is that many of the times students were saying that they have to spend 1 hour in terms of reading the content. Of course, it was like 10 to 12 pages, 15 pages, 18 pages at times. So they have to read the content and then start writing the exam. So effectively, can they part away with the reading in the exam room, and they can give you some of the reading happening at home and some of the reading happening in the exam room. So what would be coming our way is that they'll be giving you context, not the entire question, but the context of the question. And you will read that, you will have that at the back of your mind, and then we'll step into the organization or a examination. Then you will read that, you would certainly get some of the context of the case over there too, which will be an extended one. And then you will get some questions and that you need to answer. Effectively, what they're saying is that, instead of spending those 45 minutes from all of you in the exam room, why can't you spend that amount of time at your home and come prepared for answering and dealing with the exhibits there and at that point in time? That's another way to look at it. Now, what will be the pluses and what will be the minuses of that, time will only tell, right? But that's how it's been for now. And let's see how it goes. To me, it certainly gives you an edge to be better prepared, but how would that really trickle down into the results is something the time will only tell.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else, guys? Anything that you may have before we pick this up? Guys, this time is for you. Every live session that we will do is for you. If you will not speak up, I will anyway keep speaking up for n number of times, but that would not help, right? You guys have to open up your heart and mind. Then I can really help you to the best extent possible. Koi doubt ho, chota ho, bada ho, leke aao usko. Let's talk on that. Happy to chat. Just to let you know, guys, in case you're looking, while the FinTram strategic business leader sessions, we have made it available for you in 2 languages. So you can have it in Hindi and English mix, and you can have it in only English. All the sessions are available. So in case somebody is not that comfortable in English, you can take the mixed language also. That's again possible. Anybody, anything, guys, I can help you out with? More than happy to chat on. Guys, this is your time. Take the best. I see Nisal Shrishta saying, when are new sessions going to start, of ACCA? Nisal, we have already started. So, orientations are going on. The new sessions for the upcoming batch has already been kickstarted. If there is anything that you want to talk on, any subjects that you want to pick on, you have the numbers over here. Reach out to them, and team is there to really support you in the best possible way. So Prateek says, what is your fee for SBL? I think, Prateek, you can reach out to us, on this number, or you can go through and visit our website. That will provide you the entire detailing. There are various products of strategic business leader being available. You can get a full course that will give you, the entire syllabus area sessions, and that will also give you revision boot camp, wherein you'll be practicing questions and, of course, getting the perspective in terms of, how one should be dealing with that, with all the exam tips and tricks. And of course, you would get the perspective in terms of how to handle the exam. So that's the full course being available. You can also get the revision bootcamp in case you only want to practice questions. You can also get the fast track course, that is more to do with the folks who have already appeared for the strategic business leader exam, but they have not cleared it for whatsoever reason. Since you have already done it once or twice, there is no point, giving you the entire context. So there is a, fast track, I would say, product being available for them, fast track sessions being available for them. So that is again there. So depending upon, what you'll choose, Prateek, you can certainly reach out to the team, and, we're more than happy to help you. As I said, we feel proud in terms of, contributing to the lives of so many students who have cleared strategic business leader exam with us, and we'll be more than happy to help you in your journey. Anybody else, guys? Anything before we really wrap up? Prateek, you're saying, please reply to my doubt. But what is your doubt? Can you please explain? Prateek, you need to put the doubt into the chat, or if not, then you can, of course, reach out to us and ask your doubt. We're more than happy to help you there. Anybody, anything, guys? Anybody has? Devi Karni, anything you have? Ishika, Krishna, Satish, anybody? Pooja, any doubt you have? Anybody before we really wrap up? Just in the interest of time, I don't want to take this further. We only have 2 more minutes left. All right, guys, if there is nothing, let's just wrap this up. Thank you very much. Sir, how to purchase the class, Pooja? So Pooja, you can certainly go on to our website. I have given the website address over here, and the number also over here. You can just go on to FinTram.com, and, all the products will be available there of the strategic business leader exam. You can go and choose your product, pay it over there, and, classes will be delivered to you within 48 hours. And of course, these live sessions will keep coming like it is coming right now. All right, guys, thank you very much. If there is nothing, let's just wrap this up. It was a pleasure being here, and I wish you all the luck and happiness, and wish you a very happy Sunday. Let's take the SBL journey forward, because I'm sure together we'll certainly ace the SBL exam, because together we can ace it. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, this is Pankaj Dhingra signing off.